Warning, warning, warning! If you haven't read to the end of John Green and David Levithan's book, Will Grayson, Will Grayson, then you have to turn off this video right now because it's full of spoilers, and as you can tell from the title, it's about the ending of the novel, and not the beginning or the middle, it's about the end! So turn off this, go to your local bookstore, buy this book, you are going to love me for suggesting it to you, and etc. Now, you, loyal John Green fan, loyal reader, and loyal vlog watcher of the MFan09 channel, sit back in your chair, get ready for this. My name is Will Grayson, and I appreciate you, Tiny Cooper! As you guys know, a couple months ago, I'm thinking in April, I was pointing in my calendar, John Green and David Levithan's book, Will Grayson came out. And I really enjoyed it. I think a lot of people really enjoyed it, but there are certain people who were very, very unhappy with the ending. And as a loyal reader knows, that there are some book endings which could upset the majority of the reader population. Exhibit A. My name is also Will Grayson, and I live in Wilmette, and I also appreciate you, Tiny Cooper. And it recently came to my attention that a lot of people were very upset with the ending of Deathly Hallows, as were a lot of people not too sure about the ending of Will Grayson, Will Grayson. Now, I saw that one person wasn't happy with the ending of Will Grayson, Will Grayson on a Daily Booth post that he posted. But when I was watching Just Margaret's video yesterday, where she was answering questions, I found that, well, I'll just let her tell you.
How did you like Will Grayson, Will Grayson? I loved it. The ending was a little for me, but I loved it.
My name is William T. Grayson, but you can call me Will. And I sure as heck as appreciate you, Tiny Cooper.
Okay. Margaret wasn't negative about the ending, but she did spark something in me that was like, everyone always has these problems with the end of the book. And here I am to defend the end of novels, and particularly the end of Will Grayson, Will Grayson. Now, the first thing about Will Grayson, Will Grayson is, if you read that book and you got to like about chapter 5 or 6, I think it was, where they were at the meeting for the GSA and they funded the play, and you didn't know that the ending/climax of the novel would be at the High School Musical, and you didn't read the sleeve when you book, then you obviously, maybe you were surprised or thrown off.
Hi, I'm Wilma Grayson from Hyde Park, and I appreciate you, Tiny Cooper.
Okay. So you're saying that it wasn't the fact that there was a High School Musical that threw you off. It was the fact that everyone preaches their love to Tiny Cooper, as I've been doing this entire video. Well, here I am in defense of the ending of novels, and 3 years senior to where I was when I was 16, and everyone was telling me how much they didn't like the Deathly Hallows epilogue, and how they said J.K. Rowling sped through with it and didn't take her time. First thing, and maybe it's just because we were naive back then, but in retrospect now, I hope everyone who said that is ashamed of themselves, because what kind of writer or editor or publisher would really let an ending go unfinished, sped by? Honestly, there are so many rereads and rereads and rereads and redrafts and edits in books and novels and newspapers and magazines that there's no way that there's just all of a sudden, and you know, the world's #1 grossing book of all time, that there would be a sped up ending or an ending that wasn't thought out. Hi, I'm Will Grayson the 4th. My dad couldn't be here, but I appreciate you, Tiny Cooper. Of course the ending was thought out. J.K. Rowling knew that she was naming those kids that, and sure, you don't have to agree with it, but I think it's really dumb that people were saying that J.K. Rowling was quite idiotic for naming her characters the way that they were named. As for John Green's novel, I think that people didn't really like the aspect of everyone preaching their love to Tiny Cooper in the end. My name is Will Grayson, and I love you, Tiny Cooper! But for me, I thought that was the perfect ending. I remember getting chills when I found out that that's what the younger Will Grayson had planned for his stunt at the High School Musical for Tiny. And there is that one little line where, after lots of singing had been going on, the chorus is saying, hold me closer. But honestly, if you didn't have that song stuck in your head the whole time while reading this book, then I'm pretty sure you just, like, missed the whole reference. Of course they're going to sing that song in the end, and of course it was going to have a hold me closer, tiny dancer reference. You know me, Tiny Cooper, and I appreciate you. Well, maybe not as much as the guy in the pink pants. The main thing I'm trying to say is that, sure, you don't like an ending, but it's just like the product of having a whole book. You have to respect it as an entity and as something that was well thought out and well planned. We can't accuse our favorite authors of just kind of getting bored and saying, oh, I need to end this, because there are so many people who read it afterwards. There's so many revision processes that I highly doubt that something as big and solid as an ending would go by mostly unfinished and mostly not thought out. I think that major plot points of novels and books are pretty well thought out. So in the words of Chateau of a Doubt, we really need to start thinking of books, how the authors treat certain plot points of it complexly. We can't just throw away the ending as a reason not to enjoy the whole content and meaning of the book. And I'm not saying that Margaret did this, I'm just saying that she brought my attention to others a couple years ago who would stress out over how they did not like the Harry Potter epilogue, and I thought it was fine because J.K. Rowling wrote it, so it was fine. Like, it was perfect if she wrote it, you know? It's one of those things. So, when the next novel that you're reading comes out, you should take into consideration that, okay, maybe certain things won't be the way you like them, but I think that shouldn't stop you from thinking the novel critically and asking yourself, well, why was that scene used? Like, okay, maybe I didn't like it. Well, then why was it used? Like, okay, how come Dean Thomas is never in the Harry Potter movies? Oh, budgeting concerns. And maybe it just comes down to me being very, very biased because, like I said with J.K. Rowling, I don't think John Green could ever write anything wrong. Well, okay, maybe the fact that idiot ex-boyfriends of Margaret Ross Spiegelman got into schools that are terribly hard to get into. Hey, it's called Fair and Balanced for a reason. He may be heavy, but right now, he floats. Spoilers are over, and so is the video.